In Japan, it is illegal to skip your car's maintenance. Not the inspection, the maintenance. Every 12 months by national law, a vehicle must be checked across roughly 60 points, and every 2 years it faces a government test so strict that owners routinely sell a perfectly good car rather than face it. In America, GM prints a number on your dash and lets you decide. That one difference is why Japanese vehicles hit export auctions at 15 years old, looking unused. Today, the 10 rules that come out of that system applied to your Chevy. Let's go. Before the 10 rules, you need to understand why the gap exists, because it is not about the metal. It is about what the maintenance schedule is designed to achieve. In America, a maintenance schedule is a cost document. GM's manual is not written to make your engine last as long as physically possible. It is written to get the truck through the warranty period at the lowest total cost to the manufacturer, while keeping the ownership experience convenient enough that you buy another one. That is why the Oil Life Monitor lets you run to 7,500 miles. That is why transmission fluid gets called lifetime. Convenient, cheap, and calibrated for a truck that is somebody else's problem at 100,000 miles. In Japan, a maintenance schedule is a preservation document. Under the Road Transport Vehicle Act, every vehicle faces SHAKEN, the mandatory inspection. First at 3 years, then every 2 years for the rest of its life. Separately, the Ministry of Land, Infrastructure and Transport requires a 12-month statutory check covering around 60 separate points. Fail, and the vehicle is off the road. Not fined. Off the road. Think about what that does over decades. When the state will physically remove your vehicle from service for deferred maintenance, you stop treating maintenance as optional. You service early. You fix small things immediately, because a small thing becomes a failed inspection. And the proof is verifiable. Japanese used export listings are full of 15-year-old vehicles, immaculate, sold not because they were worn out, but because the owner did not want to face the next inspection. Same machines, same physics, different outcome, 10 rules. Every one of them applies to your Chevy. The first and most important rule, and the one your truck actively argues against: 5,000 miles or 6 months, whichever comes first. Japanese service intervals commonly sit between 5 and 10,000 kilometers. That is roughly 3 to 6,000 miles. And the culture treats the shorter end as normal, not paranoid. Your Chevy will tell you to go 7,500 on an AFM or DFM engine. That number is a gamble. Here is why that matters on your truck specifically. Your Oil Life Monitor is not a sensor. Nothing in your engine tests the oil. It is an algorithm running a mileage countdown, a time countdown, and a load calculation, displaying whichever hits 0 first. For most drivers, mileage wins, which makes that percentage a calendar wearing a lab coat. Second, direct injection causes fuel dilution. Unburned fuel works past the rings and thins the oil. Used oil analysis on these engines repeatedly finds 0, W20 thin below its own grade by a normal interval, calibrated for a 20 weight running closer to a 16. Third, GM's own service bulletin filed with NHTSA attributes AFM lifter failure to locking pen damage from oil aeration. Aerated, diluted, degraded oil is the mechanism, not mileage. The Japanese answer to all of this is not a better oil. It is a shorter interval. 2 oil changes a year instead of 1 costs you maybe $60 more annually. A collapsed lifter and a wiped camshaft is $3,000 to $7,000. This one only applies if you are buying new or have just had an engine replaced, and if that is you, this is the highest leverage thing in the entire video. During break-in, your piston rings are seating against the cylinder walls for the first and only time. That seating permanently determines how well the engine seals compression and how much oil it burns for the rest of its life. Get it wrong and you own an oil burner at 120,000 miles. Keep RPM below 4,000 for the first 1,000 miles. No hard acceleration, no sustained high-speed cruising. And the one nobody expects, vary your speed. Do not use cruise control. Rings need changing cylinder pressure to seat evenly. A constant highway load polishes them instead. Avoid short trips where the engine never fully warms. and change the oil at 1,000 miles regardless of what the manual says, because that first oil is carrying break-in metal from every machine surface in the engine. GM will tell you the factory fill should stay in longer. That is a warranty cost position, not a longevity position. If you have a new truck, this is free insurance. Here is where the gap between the two philosophies is at its widest. GM calls the fluid in your 6L80 or 8L90 lifetime. In Japan, that concept is treated as marketing, not engineering. Let me be blunt about what lifetime actually means in a manufacturer's manual. It does not mean the fluid lasts forever. It means GM does not expect to be paying for the transmission when it fails. Lifetime means the life of the warranty. Transmission fluid does not just lubricate, it operates under extreme hydraulic pressure to apply clutch packs, carries heat from the torque bubble converter, and holds a friction modifier package that decides how those clutches grab. As it ages, it loses viscosity, fills with clutch material, and stops protecting anything. 30,000 miles. Drain and fill, not a power flush, especially on a truck with unknown history. A drain and fill replaces 4 to 6 quarts of the 10 to 12 in the system, which refreshes the additive package without stripping away everything at once. Use the exact spec. Dexron 6 for most 6 speeds, Dexron HP for the 8 and 10 speeds. They are not interchangeable. About $150 every 30,000 miles against a $5,000 rebuild. And if you want to know whether your fluid is being cooked right now, your truck already tells you. The transmission temperature is sitting in your driver information center menu. Above 220 degrees, you are having that fluid's life every time you go there. Most American owners change coolant at 100,000 miles, or never. The Japanese approach is first change at 30,000, then every 50,000 after that. The logic is simple once you understand what old coolant actually does. DexCool is a good coolant, but it is not permanent. As the corrosion inhibitors deplete, the coolant turns slightly acidic. That acid does not politely wait in a but it attacks water pump seals, thermostat housings, gaskets, and the aluminum in your heads and block. On the GM-V8 specifically, degraded DexCool has a long documented history of forming a rust-colored sludge that clogs the radiator and heater core. The first casualties are almost always the water pump and the thermostat, and both of those failures present as overheating, which on an aluminum block engine is how you warp a head. Change it at 30, then every 50. Use the correct DexCool specification, mix 50-50 with distilled water, never tap water, because the minerals in tap water deposit inside the cooling passages, and bleed the system properly afterwards. Trapped air alone can cause overheating on these trucks. Your manual will give you a plug interval up around 100,000 miles or more. The Japanese approach cuts that roughly in half, and there are 2 separate reasons, one of which almost nobody talks about. The obvious reason is combustion quality. A worn plug needs more voltage, which stresses the ignition coil, and an incomplete burn sends raw fuel into the exhaust, where it cooks the catalytic converter and oxygen sensors. By the time a misfire lights your dash, you have damaged parts costing more than the plugs. The second reason is purely mechanical, and it is the one that will cost you. These plugs thread into aluminum cylinder heads. The longer a steel plug sits in an aluminum head through thousands of heat cycles, the more it galvanically seizes. Pull them at 60,000 and they come out clean. Leave them to 120 and there is a real chance one snaps off in the head. And now a $200 job is an extraction job that can run over 1,000. Use the correct OEM spec plug. Gap it properly. Anti-seize on the threads. Dielectric grease on the boots. Quick pause. Hit like and subscribe and tell me in the comments how many miles are on your Chevy right now, because I want to see who is already doing this. 5 rules in, 5 to go, including the one about differential fluid that almost no American truck owner has ever touched. And the last one, which costs you nothing and is the single biggest difference between how Japan and America treat a vehicle. Let's keep going. If you drive a 4-wheel drive Silverado, Sierra, Tahoe, Suburban, or Yukon, This is the service almost nobody performs. Ask 100 truck owners when they last changed their differential fluid, and most will tell you never. Your differential runs hypoid gears, which slide against each other under enormous pressure rather than simply rolling. That is a brutal environment for oil. Over time, the fluid darkens, fills with metal shavings, and loses the extreme pressure additives that keep those gear faces apart. And here's the problem. A differential gives you almost no warning. There is no light. There is no gauge. By the time you hear a whine or a howl that changes pitch with speed, the gear teeth are already worn and you are buying a rebuild. Japanese practice, first service at $30,000 to flush out break-in metal, then every $50,000. If you have four-wheel drive, you have 3 separate services: front differential, rear differential, and transfer case, all 3 on the same schedule. Use the correct gear oil specification, and if your truck has a limited slip rear end, it needs the friction modifier additive or it will chatter in turns. Always replace the drain plug gasket. $200 every 50,000 miles against a differential rebuild that starts around $1,500. This rule is time-based, not mileage-based, and that is exactly why Americans skip it. Brake fluid is hygroscopic. It absorbs moisture out of the air continuously, whether you drive the truck or it sits in a driveway all winter. 2 things happen as water content climbs. The boiling point drops, so under sustained braking, a long grade, or towing, the fluid boils and gas compresses. That is the pedal going soft at the worst possible moment. The second thing is quieter and more expensive. That water corrodes the system from the inside. Brake lines, caliper pistons, and the ABS module. On a modern Chevy with stability control and trailer brake integration, that module is not a cheap part. Every 24 months, regardless of mileage. Correct DOT specification for your truck. Bleed starting at the wheel farthest from the master cylinder and work in. The pedal should come back. They're firm. $30 of fluid against an ABS module that can run well over $1,000. This is the rule that comes straight out of Japanese law, and it is the one with the biggest gap between the 2 countries. Japan requires a 12-month statutory inspection covering roughly 60 points, set by the National Transport Ministry. America requires nothing of the kind, so Japanese owners find problems while they are still cheap, and Americans find them when something breaks. Once a year, go through your truck properly, or pay a trusted mechanic $100 to do it. Every fluid, condition, not just level. Tire wear pattern, because uneven wear is your suspension talking. Bushings and ball joints for play. Brake pad thickness, the exhaust for leaks, battery voltage and terminals, every belt and hose for cracks or glazing. Here is why this pays. A worn control arm bushing is a $15 part. Ignore it and it destroys a control arm. Then a tire, then an alignment. A small exhaust leak is a weld. Ignore it and it cracks a manifold. Nothing on that list is exotic. The Japanese advantage is not knowledge it is that they are legally forced to look every single year. Japanese owners are close to religious about using manufacturer specification fluids, and they do not experiment. Applied to your Chevy, that means a few specific things. Oil must be Dexo certified in the viscosity your engine actually calls for. And if you own a recalled 6.2 that was inspected and not replaced, GM's own remedy changed your spec to 0W40. So check your VIN before you assume. Transmission fluid must be the exact Dexron spec. Coolant must be Dex Cool. Gear oil must meet the correct GL rating. And resist pouring additives on top of a certified oil. Dexos oils are balanced formulations engineered as a system, and supplements can upset that balance. On fuel, if your engine is a 6.2-liter L87, it requires premium. That is not optional and it is not upselling. Running regular in it invites knock and forces timing retard. The 5.3 runs fine on regular. What matters far more than octane on either engine is a decent top-tier fuel, which carries a stronger detergent package and slows the carbon buildup that direct injection causes on your intake valves. The last rule costs nothing, and it is the closest thing to an actual philosophy in this whole video. First half, keep it stock. GM engineered your truck's components to work as a system. The wheels, the suspension geometry, the brake balance, the gearing. Change one and you load another. Oversized wheels put leverage on wheel bearings, and ball joints never specified for it. A lift changes CV axle angles. A tune removes safety margins from parts that were relying on them. There is one exception worth naming honestly, and it is the one this channel has covered before. Disabling AFM or DFM on an out-of-warranty truck removes a failure mode rather than adding one. That is undoing a manufacturer decision, not modifying the machine. Second half, and this is the real Japanese secret: stop deferring small things. The whole shaken system works because it makes deferral impossible. A worn bushing, a weeping seal, a slightly noisy bearing. In Japan, those get fixed immediately because in 12 months, an inspector is going to find them. In America, a small noise becomes something you have been meaning to look at for 2 years, and then it becomes a repair bill. Every catastrophic failure you have ever heard about started as something small and cheap that somebody decided could wait. So here is the whole thing in one line. Americans maintain vehicles by convenience. Japan maintains them by preservation because the law does not give them a choice. Oil at 5,000. Break-in at 1,000. Transmission fluid at 30,000 because lifetime means the life of the warranty. Coolant at 30, then 50. Plugs at 60 before they seize into the head. Differentials at 50. Brake fluid every 2 years. A real inspection every year. Correct fluids, no experiments. Keep it stock and fix small things immediately. None of that is exotic or expensive. A few $100s a year against repair bills in the thousands. On a truck GM built to survive a warranty, and you intend to keep 15 years. Your Chevy does not know which country it is in. It only knows how it is treated. So tell me in the comments, which of these 10 do you already do? And which one are you going to start? And if you are past 300,000 miles on your Chevy, post your number because I want everyone else to see it. Hit like and subscribe. I will see you in the next one.